This next demonstration is much like what you saw in clipping to the circle geometry, except this time we'll use rectangle. Now in the past, we've used fill rect or some other commands in order to draw to the canvas. But here what I'm doing is just calling the rect or rect function in order to define a path as a rectangle that I can then use for the clip area. So the main difference between the code that you see here and what you saw on the last sample was, first of all, what I'm doing is defining some x and y values in width and height. Now those come into play in order to decide where the rectangle will be within the canvas. So the starting XY positions are here at 40, 25, right at this position. And then I'm creating a rectangle, which is really a box at this point, 200 by 200. Now I need those values twice because what I'll do is create the square or the rectangle, and then I'll also stroke that same area using stroke rect in order to give it the border. But the main takeaway here is that the first thing that I'm doing is creating a rectangular area within the canvas and then calling clip. Once that's done, then I render the image onto the canvas. And of course, everything that falls outside of the area of that rectangle is not rendered to the canvas. And to drive home that point even further, this next item over here of boundaries shows the exact same demo that you saw in the rectangle demo, except what I'm doing is creating another box after the clip area has been created. And you'll notice the coordinates that I give it is that this box, it truly is a box, shows up at the 0, 0 position. But as it's rendered onto the canvas, the only part of it that's exposed is what shows up within the clip region. So as we scroll down here, you'll notice that all of this information here is basically the same, except I've changed the fill style to have an alpha transparency. And so after calling clip, I call fill rect at the 0, 0 position. I give it the dimensions of 100 pixels wide by 100 pixels tall. And so as that's run, it shows up at this area. So you can better visualize it. If I comment out the call to clip, here's the box as it shows without being clipped. And then once the call to the clip method is made, then it restricts the area of the canvas.